Hey guys, it's Otti again. I'm sitting here in Ysselsteyn, I think it's called Ysselsteyn, in the Netherlands at the Jera On Air Festival. Besides me, two members of the band Bentley. Hey, first of all.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Brian.
I'm Jay.
I'm in Bad Religion.
He's in Bad Religion.
Yeah.
You not?
Not according to my wristband. I'm the truck driver.
Ah, I see. So, but you can talk about the music anyways. And
I can.
That it's shit and stuff.
I've been listening to them for a long time.
Okay, maybe for people who totally don't know who you are, who are Bassist. I know, I'm a fan somehow. The girl behind is a big fan somehow.
Think of us as sort of the American Die Totenhosen, perhaps.
Fair enough. Just not quite as popular.
Yeah, or as good looking.
No, I think Campino is the best looking guy.
He's just the best, isn't he?
Yeah, he's the
Punk rock Mick Jagger. I love it.
So it's like not the Sex Pistols. We're not like the Sex Pistols.
No.
And I think we can start with something like a backflash, like looking back to the 80s when the band started. If you all founding members, I'm not sure now.
Well, that would be Jay was there in the beginning.
I was there in the beginning.
I was a later arrival.
So maybe you can tell at least what was the starting point, how it all started back then.
The actual starting point was our singer Greg met our guitar player Brett at a party. And Brett was looking to start a more hardcore band, and Greg had not been in a band, but that it seemed to have some ideas there. And the next day at school, Greg said, we're starting a band, and we started practicing in his mom's house. We had 6 or 7 songs kind of right away, but the most important thing was during that first month or two, we sat down and talked about what kind of band we wanted to be. And we decided that there were bands that their message was fuck the cops. We didn't want to be that. There were bands...
Though I do recommend it.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. There were bands that their message was about girls, and we said we didn't want to be that either. And there were bands that sort of railed against their parents for some reason, that they don't want to clean their room, and we didn't want to be that either, so we just decided to try to write songs that in 10 years wouldn't be embarrassing.
And I think it's something more like 10 years now.
It's been 44.
Yeah.
It's almost as long as I'm on the world. So.
No, yeah, I mean,
And I'm old now.
Most of my life, so.
But of those first 6 songs, are we playing any of those tonight?
No. No.
Would you like to?
Maybe. There was a song called Everything Turned Sour that was actually really good, that you wouldn't even know.
No.
And we played it a lot live. This is a funny story. We were playing it in Greg Graffin's garage, and he had one of those garage door openers, but it was broken. And for some reason, during this song, at the beginning of it, Brett jumped up and hit his head on the garage door opener and just slid his head open, and he had to go to the hospital and get stitches. So anyway, when he came back, he said, I don't want to play that song again. Even though it was a good song, we didn't play it because of the garage door opener incident. So
I see.
That's what the song is. But was it like a gig in the garage, or was it like
no, that was where we rehearsed. Yeah, we just...
Because when I was young, I did some concerts in my garage, in my parents' garage. So
it wasn't big. It was about the size of this room, maybe.
It wasn't.
No, it was very small. Our first outdoor show was in our original drummer's backyard, and there wasn't anybody there, just his brother.
But he loved it.
Yeah, he hated it.
And we don't have that much time today because on a festival you can't talk, of course, but maybe you can tell at least a little bit of the story, 2 or 3 turning points of the band's history that have been really, really important.
First turning point probably would have been Into the Unknown. Not because it was a great thing, but because it was
the second album.
At the time, it was the second album, and it was not a great thing, but it was a learning lesson for the band of what we can be and what we can do. Next turning point would have been getting back together and making Suffer.
in '88.
And the next turning point probably would have been the in history. I'd say the biggest turning point was 2001. Brett coming back to the band and us going back to Epitaph. I think everything else was sort of a normal progression. And you can say this album was important, that album was important, but I think Brett coming back into the band at that juncture was a big turning point.
And it all ends up here at the Jera On Air at the premier Nederland Festival, sharing the stage with so many other good friends who've been along the way.
Who are playing on different days than us.
Well, that's fine.
But you can't stay. You have to.
We can stay if we want to.
Yeah.
I mean, it would sacrifice all the other shows.
We do have a day off tomorrow.
I mean,
so
we literally can do what we want. There's a consequence. You pay for your actions.
Yes.
But we're choosing to stay.
I want to see Simple Plan. I want to see Simple Plan. I'm staying.
I think your fans wouldn't be that happy if you.
No. And that's the consequence of your actions, is that you make people very angry.
You've got to live with it.
So is this something important to you? Consequences, for example, you have to take for your actions in life?
It's something called responsibility. And you don't see a lot of this in America lately, but I'm a big fan. I like responsibility.
Yeah. I think the healthy balance is finding out when you're on stage. It's like, what do we like, and what do people want? And that's find that healthy balance, because I've seen bands that are not having fun on stage, and it's hard to watch.
What a waste of time.
And I think we've always said, as long as we're having fun, and we're still relevant, then there's no reason not to do this.
No, it's such a joy, and I love it. And it is tough to see other people who just haven't got that message. It's like if you're having a great time, the audience is having a great time, and that's
Yeah, and I think this is one of your big points, because I've seen you twice, I think, or 3 times now, and every show was like going forward, total energy, no stopping. And I think this is what people love about you, still being fast forward.
Gotta put in the hours, man. Gotta do it.
But you mentioned what's going on in America, so I think you are really political people, and your music also has many political topics. So how do you look at the upcoming elections, presidential elections?
Well, I mean, it's not just America. It's all over the world. We have a great example in this, this chaos that's happening in our political system, and I think that it's kind of, for someone like me, because I'm older, for me it's a clear choice. Is you don't vote for the fucking Nazi. The other guy may not be your best friend, but you don't vote for the fucking Nazi. For other people, they're upset that they have no choice at all, and so that's valid too. And so I can't be as grandpa about it. It's like, just do the right thing. It's not so simple. And this is part of why America is America. It's that you do have this conversation. I am hopeful that this fascist uprising in the form of the Republican Party in the United States are vanquished, and then we can move forward to refining what it is to be an American. I'm hopeful, but that might not happen. And then what do? You carry on. I mean, it's this is the thing about democracy. You accept it, and then you work with what you have. So I'm hopeful, but who knows?
Yeah. And I think it's the same here in Europe, for example, the European elections.
Of course.
Did you follow this? Did you see what happened?
I mean, it just seems so obvious, but it isn't. And I understand. It's tough.
I'm far more interested in why people vote the way they do. I don't care about politicians. I think they're all just grifters and actors, and that's fine, because to be honest, we're grifters and actors too, because we're entertainers. So you have to give a certain amount of leeway to someone, regardless of what they publicly pronounce, because who knows what they say at home. My question is why do people feel they need to vote that way, right? And 99% of the time it's fear. right? You're scaring someone into believing that something bad is going to happen if you don't elect me.
So,
And I would like to hear someone say, something good is going to happen if you elect me. And this is what it's going to be.
yeah, I think this would be the better way, sure.
Right.
Take away the fear.
But fear is a great motivator.
Oh, it sure is.
So, you know, it's the sad reality of humans in their nature, that even when things are great, they seem to need to find an enemy or a cause for alarm.
Right. And if you've thrown in your allegiance with something that turns out to be just the worst thing in the world, a lot of people just hang on because being wrong themselves is too much. You know, I mean, we see this now, then. It's part of the human condition, and it's, I guess, you know, it's what makes us dangerous.
It's what makes people believe in 2024 that the Earth is flat.
Yeah.
And vehemently so.
Really believing it, yeah.
They really believe it.
Not just maybe. Well, maybe.
No, it's real. It's real.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, they're really. It's like, okay.
Didn't you see when you flew from USA to Europe that it's all flat?
Yeah,
I mean, from my plane window, it's totally flat.
Yeah.
I could see the edge. I could see ships falling off. There they are, falling off.
I know what you mean. So, and maybe we can take this to come back to your music a little bit, and then can come to an end. So, the last album, Age of Unreason, was some years ago. So, when is something new coming? What's coming next?
I think when it's done, it's. That's really going to be when it happens.
It's kind of true.
You know, Brett and Greg write the music, and they have a bunch of songs right now. They don't have enough, and the reason I know this is we haven't recorded them.
Yeah.
I mean, the beauty of this Bad Religion experience is there is no timeline. There's really no pressure, and I think we all agree that it would be better to take a long time and have a really nice record than just make a record to make one. And in other bands, I have made records just to make a record.
In this band,
and they're not as good as the records that come because they're made. I mean, it sounds like very childish, but it's true.
Yeah, but I think you don't have to make records because you have enough, and you have done so many influences on other bands and people.
We can certainly go and play shows without making more records, but the point is making records is because you have something to share, and you are interested in things. You are still curious. You still want to sing about things, and that will never change with Greg and Brett. So there will always be new music. It's just about when you get a big enough stack to go in the studio and record it. And hopefully it would be by the end of this year we might, but who knows? I thought last year we would.
But something is coming, so I can at least say
something will always be coming with Bad Religion.
So,
yes.
Or do it the other way around. I've talked to Fat Mike a few months ago, and they are quitting now, and you will be around for some more years, hopefully.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, how do you retire from this? There is no retiring.
I mean, Mike is Mike, and he's a different entity, and his programming schedule is different from everyone. I know him well enough to be very skeptical of everything he says and does. And much like Kiss on their never-ending farewell tour, I'm sure No Effect will be back at it in no time soon.
Yeah. You can't retire from what you love. You do it until you simply can't. So we're all looking forward to when we can't do it anymore.
We're all looking forward to not being able to do it.
Yes.
You look at the Rolling Stones. They are WH and still playing, so...
Yeah. I wish... Yeah.
I'd
love to be 40. Yes, it'd be great.
It's such an unfair comparison.
But boy, they're good. They're good. There's no way to go. The punk started so recently that you don't know when it's aged out. It's still... Who knows?
At the Rebellion Fest, you see a lot of age now.
Yeah, you do. I love the Rebellion Fest. It's awesome. I had the best time.
But you know, the thing is this is really the music for the population, and it is folk music. It is driven by a passion to share an idea, and that never ages.
Nope.
Ever. So you know, it's embarrassing to see a glam rock band get old, because glam rock is based on image. And this is anti-image. This is just.
We have the worst image in the world.
This is just nerds and dorks having at it with volume.
I'm a dweeb. I'm not a nerd.
Yeah, I'm a dweeby dork.
Anyway, on that note, see you later. Goodbye.
There's subtle differences. Wait,
We're
are
done.
you leaving?
We're done. Goodbye. Thank you.
So.
I need a nap.
Yeah.
You're old.
It's past my nap time.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Here comes Davey.
But maybe we really come to an end because we have another interview afterwards, I think, somehow.
I think so.
And so do you have something free you want to tell the people outside? Some message, greetings, or love messages, maybe?
No.
To
Stop fucking with each other.
Yeah, be nice. Come on.
That's kind of the end.
Be nice to people. Jeez,
It's just
how hard is it?
Just stop. Just do your thing and stop fucking with people. For everybody.
Really.
So this was totally awesome. Also fun. Thank you for this.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching. Demolition, nice band, could be something. Check them out. And I say bye bye. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.